recap of day 2. So the hotel I stayed at last night was probably one of the worst hotels I've ever stayed at. I didn't sleep very well. The pillow and the sheet smelled like fresh linen, and not like freshly cleaned linen, like the air freshener smell, fresh linen. I don't even know if they washed it. They might have just sprayed it down with Febreze or something. Either way, I left there, and really the only way to kind of get to where I needed to go was either to go on a very like major highway, or I looked on Google Maps and I clicked the bike, whatever, you can do walk, bike, drive. I clicked the bike one, and it took me on the bike path. It was about 10 miles. About half of it was literally impassable fields, so there was a lot of me walking. I probably walked about 5 miles with the bike. What the fuck, Google Maps? You fucking suck. So I had this brilliant idea of, instead of riding on the highway, which was actually a good idea, and then instead of taking the other route I was initially going to take to a town I can't pronounce, I was like, oh well, Google Maps has a bike route. Well, half of it is sand that's super deep, which is lovely to ride in, and then the other half was like where a farmer had driven a tractor a couple of times. It was hardly a road, and where they did drive it, it was when it was wet, so it's like super rutted out. Like this is something I'd tackle on the mountain bike. So my easy few miles this morning turned into an ordeal. Proper gravel race. This is 100% weed, just straight up street weed. I mean, the stuff I found back there, that made a little more sense, possibly somebody's that's back far enough so where you're not just gonna find it, but there's a town right there and just smells alright. It's definitely not just regular old ditchweed. Somebody had to have planted it this way. That's awesome. It goes down the whole row of sunflowers. Crazy boys out here. And then eventually got going. I was gonna try to make it to Subotica, Serbia today. It was a lofty goal, about 110 miles from where my hotel was. Never ridden 110 miles before, and needless to say, I did not make it to Subotica. I got 63 miles in and was starting to get a few sore spots. Figured it was better to, stop, rest up, and then tackle the other 71 kilometers. I'm not sure what that is in miles. It's like 40 something miles. Tackle that tomorrow, and then we'll get to Subotica, and should be good. Luckily tonight the room that I'm in is a lot nicer than the previous one. I'm super tired, so I should sleep really well and be well rested and ready to go for tomorrow. The one thing that is a concern about all of this is today was 63 miles of flat, and that was rough. It was pretty rough. Given my time frame for this trip, I kind of need to pound out at minimum 60 miles each time I ride. And from here, from Budapest to, probably Novi Sad is pretty much flat. After that, it starts to get quite hilly. I trained on hills and trained at a higher elevation, but I don't know if I could have done what I just did today if you throw in a bunch of hills. So a little nervous about that. Hopefully as I keep going, I'll just get a bit stronger and stronger and more ready to tackle it. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm gonna kind of need that. So unfortunately, due to that, I may have to cut out some of the the cool abandoned places I want to see. Is it really worth a 15-mile detour to go see an abandoned mansion in the forest? I'd really like to, but am I going to have time to do it? That's the question I'm going to have to grapple with. So all the soreness that I was experiencing today, now that I'm off the bike and walking around, showered, don't really feel it anymore. So it should be good to go for tomorrow. We'll see how tomorrow goes. I'll see how crossing the border into Serbia is. I'm sure a man with a bag full of cameras and a drone, I don't know if that'll look suspicious or not. We'll see. I also don't know if a guy on a bicycle trying to cross the border in a row of cars, not quite sure how that works out. Every border crossing that I've done previously in Europe was all within the EU, so there really wasn't much of a border. It was just kind of, now entering Czech Republic, now entering Slovakia. So we'll see how it goes with an actual border thing. I'm betting I'm gonna have to empty out all of my bags and they're gonna search everything, but we'll see. So that's the recap for today. It was a lot of cool scenery. It was nice and flat. It didn't have any major issues except for walking 5 miles at the beginning of the day. So I also think that maybe kind of set a bad precedent. So by the time I had done the first 10 miles, that first 10 miles was way more exhausting than every 10-mile stretch after that. It took me about an hour and a half to do that first 10 miles. So hopefully getting started, a lot better refreshed, a lot better rested, and then not having that ordeal at the beginning of the day. Hopefully that will make things go a little bit easier. There is one section by a city called Leskovac that I was looking at. It was either kind of a busy road or what Google Maps said is the walking path. And I was going to do the walking path. It's supposed to be a dirt road, but after what I experienced today, those were also supposed to be dirt roads. And half of it was sand about this deep that was impossible to ride in. And then the other half was a farmer's field, essentially. So, yeah, I will hit it hard tomorrow, and we'll definitely be in Serbia tomorrow, unless I get arrested by the Serbian border police for some reason. I won't, but I don't know. I won't get arrested by the Serbian border police, but yeah, we'll be in Serbia tomorrow. Can't wait. It's going to be good. Unfortunately, I do have to go get a new SIM card. The SIM card that I got in Hungary is only valid in the EU. So get to Subotica, check into the hotel, get showered up, and then go get a SIM card. Yeah, hit it nice and hard tomorrow.